Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with a big Korra news update here. Next Korra comic has been announced. I did my prediction video on New York Comic Con a couple of days ago, and I really didn't think that they would have it ready, but in a big surprise, it has been announced. Now, I don't know if this was necessarily the way that this was meant to be announced. I get the feeling that this listing was probably put up by Penguin Random House a little early. They've done this before in the past. I get the feeling that they have potentially stolen the exclusive from some website with this, because I really don't think that this was just meant to be revealed like this, where like someone just finds the product listing. So we'll see how exactly that goes. As I said, I still expect imbalanced preview pages to come out at some point. But anyway, Legend of Korra: Ruins of the Empire Part 1, written by Michael Dante DiMartino. They also say Brian Konietzko here, so and also illustrated by Michelle Wong, and colors I assume by Vivian Ng. So we have our new artist, Michelle Wong. I don't necessarily think the cover is for sure Michelle Wong's art. It probably is still more than likely Heather Campbell's art. It looks a bit like it. Her art sort of changes slightly from cover to cover, but I think it to me feels like Heather Campbell's, but I think we still have to receive confirmation on that or not. I basically just saw this. I haven't properly read it myself, so we're just going through this completely live here. On sale May 21st, 2019, 80 pages of course, so that's much earlier than I expected. That's really good that they seem to have the comics on track, that it seems like at this point they've got their artist, and they've probably had her for a while now, so that's really cool. So Korra must decide who to trust as the fate of the Earth Kingdom hangs in the balance. Korra must decide okay, that's just the same line again. On the eve of its first elections, the Earth Kingdom finds its future endangered by its past. Even as Kuvira stands trial for her crimes, vestiges of her imperial ambitions threaten to undermine the nation's democratic hopes. But when Korra, Asami, Mako, and Bolin don't all see eye to eye as to the solution, drastic measures must be taken to halt a new march to war. Written by series co-creator Michael Dante DiMartino and drawn by Michelle Wong, with consultation by Brian Konietzko. This is the official continuation of the beloved television series. So here we go. We get our Kuvira story. Immediately, that is so much more plot focused than Turf Wars was. Borderline, you kind of feel like this is the promise equivalent for Korra comics in terms of just direct resolution to the obvious main plot points from the show. Turf Wars was definitely felt like this sort of whole other thing. This looks to be exactly kind of what we were looking for. Just seeing Kuvira there. There's of course the end of the Earth Empire is not going to be the full end of it. There of course has to be some level of issues there with changing the way the Earth Kingdom works. All I think that they need now is to make sure that that is well done. I don't know, do you keep Kuvira as the villain? That's an interesting one, because we still need to expand on, I suppose, how she feels about a lot of this stuff, because we saw her basically kind of give up, basically yield to Korra, and she herself seems to be completely done with the Earth Empire, but there will still be people behind her, I assume, somewhere. So this is interesting, and the fact that our four main characters will seemingly all come to blows over the solution to this is going to be very, very interesting. So that immediately just seems so much more plot focused than we've had before. This could also be keeping along the lines of Korra Asami and Korra potentially at odds over how to deal with this. That's a really big thing. Mako and Bolin, you can see Bolin there actually. You notice he's in his fancy clothes, his kind of mover star clothes, so that may give us a hint as to what direction he's taking. Bolin could actually be somewhat interesting here, given that he's now not really, he doesn't have a role anymore. He's not with the police. So Mako's with the police. He'll have that perspective. Asami may have more of a business perspective. Korra, the world at large perspective. What will Bolin's perspective on this be? We know he's more about, I suppose, the people. and kind of putting them first. So that this could be a huge comic depending on what they do with the characters. Of course, we don't know a lot right now, but I think outside of the Fire Nation plot, I think this was probably the best that they could have done. Going to the Fire Nation at some point is still something, of course, that we really, really want, but it made sense to, I think, deal with this plot first, and then we can maybe play with some of that stuff, which is going to be a bit more kind of fun, by getting to see the places that we haven't seen before. But yeah, very, very cool here. What is the background? It looks like the mountains of Republic City. Is that potentially where they're holding Kuvira prisoner, or what? Again, we're in the Earth Kingdom, aren't we? Yeah, we're in the Earth Kingdom here somewhere. So this isn't necessarily anywhere we know. Nothing particularly comes to mind with it. Yeah, it's. I think it's too difficult to speculate exactly on. If you are familiar with what that is, definitely let me know. I can't really think of anything that it reminds me of right now. Kind of a place in the middle of a small like lake or something like that. But very, very interesting. But yeah, that's the news. This is big, for sure. I don't know how much they'll go into now at New York Comic Con. As I said, Imbalance preview pages, again, we still don't really know much about Imbalance, which is a kind of funny thing, but that's something we'll be looking for. This also means with its scheduling that this is going to come out before Imbalance Part 3, so this is finally looking like it's going to be the sort of crossover of the book's releases that we were waiting for, and that's immediately a positive, that they're not stepping back with the releases because of the live action thing. They're actually seemingly accelerating it all, outside of all the delays that we've had, but this seems very, very positive. So quick news update, but in the comment, let me know what your thoughts are on Legend of Korra Runes of the Empire as our next series. But yeah, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.